IBM shares just above the flat line here in extended hours following the company's earnings release. A beat on both the top and bottom line, upbeat annual sales forecast, also announcing some cost-cutting measures. IBM cutting 3,900 jobs. We want to bring in Futurum Research Principal Analyst Daniel Newman. Daniel, it's great to see you again. So first, just your reaction to, one, the job cuts and the beats that we're seeing from IBM on both top and bottom lines.
Yeah, I think the cuts are more of a normal part of it to be more accepting than ever. I mean, you have a company that beat on top and bottom, making a relatively small number of cuts, but strategic, showing that they're still looking at this year as a bit of austerity. And despite the fact that they did better than most were expected, hey, we're going to take this moment while a lot of companies are making some cuts, and we're going to make some. Hopefully, they're very focused on those strategic, performance-based, but right now this is just going to be happening across tech. We're going to see it everywhere, and I think it's a moment where a lot of companies that had planned to do it are going to do it today.
Largely speaking, this has been a massive reorganization, kind of like turning around an oil tanker. It takes a long time and a lot of money in their case, $120 billion. But given the S&P is down, 9% in the last 12 months, and IBM's up almost 3%, is that turnaround finally complete?
You know, under Arvind Krishna, the company has refocused itself, and it really picked the areas it wanted to get behind. And hybrid cloud and AI were two areas that, as an analyst, I can tell you, are a good place to be. They've made some strategic M&A decisions, both inward and outward. The spinoff of Kyndryl was really important for the company to be able to focus on getting back to growth. The acquisition of Red Hat, when they made it, it looked like a big expense, and a lot of people weren't certain, but you're seeing it bearing fruit now. As hybrid cloud continues to be the winning architecture for enterprises, IBM seems to be in a really good position, and they're winning with these higher margins. You see they're growing and expanding margin, but the consulting business, the software business, it's growing across all segments, and it's hard to not feel positive about the fact that a company like IBM has really found its way through. It's been a tough macro, not just recently, but really for the last 6 quarters, to perform pretty well. Arvind Krishna's strategy is taking shape, and the company is executing.
Dan, we know the U.S. dollar, obviously very important here for IBM. They generate about half their revenue from overseas. We certainly have seen the U.S. dollar pull back a bit. How big of an impact, or what do you see the effect of currency fluctuations having on IBM this year?
Yeah, I had an opportunity recently to talk to CFO Jim Kavanaugh, and he actually said the FX, which was adjusted in most of the forecast, improved. It was about 150 basis points better than they had originally expected. So this, the acceleration of their business going into the end of the year and the improved situation with FX both gave a bit of a tailwind to the company, but I wouldn't put too much on FX. This has a lot to do with good performance. It also has a lot to do with something I've been talking about for a while, which is what's kind of old is new again. And so IBM is one of those companies that no matter where you are in your sort of cloud and transformation journey, they're very involved, whether it's at the mainframe or all the way down to, next generation public cloud architectures, partnerships with AWS. They're really well positioned. Companies during this year are going to be saying, how do we get more out of the technology we've already invested in? That's part of why you saw such a great number from ServiceNow that just hit. So, the companies that are able to help you automate, to implement hybrid cloud, AI, data, analytics, and be able to do this with more of what you have are going to do well. IBM really fits that mold. So it's not just about a new IBM, it's about having the right offerings for the enterprise right now.
All right, got to leave it there. Daniel Newman, appreciate that, breaking down IBM's earnings.